how are you? Hi, everybody. Sorry, my I lost a connection right before I was supposed to come on. This is driving me crazy, people, crazy. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm going to set up my phone right now, which is dead. Jeez, both of them, just in case it happens again. Because we've got a good show today. Today we're gonna talk about LB Scott's interview with the Breakfast Club. And I really do think NeNe Leakes is going to get that job. I really, really do. I think she's going to replace Angela Yee. I mean, if there are no politics involved, because you guys know she says that Andy tries to stop her bag, and I believe her. Okay. My phone is dead. I'm trying to do a backup so if my internet goes out again, I can come back through my phone. But my phone is dead. So if I blank out, you guys, it's not because of my anything on my end. We're having internet problems allegedly in the city of Las Vegas. That's a lie that they're telling me. All right. So listen, I adore LB Scott. If you're a blogger, she's the GOAT. The greatest of all time. If you guys don't know who she is, if you're not a blogger, I'm sure. Does everyone in the chat know who B Scott is? She runs a blog called Love B Scott. No. Okay. Well, okay. She's a blogger. She's the greatest of all time in Sherelle's opinion. And I just love her, love her, love her. She runs a blog called Love B Scott. She gave this in-depth interview to the Breakfast Club. Now, I'm going to play it and talk about some of the things that she talked about, because the things that she said in this interview are the things that I've been trying to explain to you guys forever. I've been saying blogging is dirty. These people get vindictive. Don't believe what you see on the show. You don't know these people. You could see somebody on the show and think, oh, they're great, they're amazing, and they're the biggest cutthroat person behind the scenes. But every time people say, Team, I don't know, Kenya, Team Kandi, Team, you don't know what this person's really like behind the scenes. Okay. But people, and I tell you guys time and time again, being team anybody is team dumb. But I feel like, and you correct me if I'm wrong, people fall for what they see. Even though I could tell people over and over again, reality TV is more fake than scripted television. You got these people who come on, they've talked to the other cast members before the season even starts. They know what they're going to do. They got a role to play. It's like that. Or the network might want you to portray a certain way, so you don't want to lose your job. So here you are acting this way because you got to feed your family. Don't believe reality TV. And I don't mean to offend anybody here, but I feel like African American people, the younger you are, you're easily fooled. easily fooled. Like they Cardi B, Nicki Minaj. You don't know these people. You don't know what's going on. Some of your favorite, biggest role models are evil. Also, too, I don't care who you are. If you are successful at anything, hi, Catherine. I finally remember. Thank you. Thank you so much, Perry. Love you both. Thanks for your content. Oh, that's so sweet. Everyone's having trouble becoming my members only. Oh, you know what? I should watch what I say and say the real stuff on members only. I was about to spill the tea. Thank you, Catherine. Thank you, Catherine. But to make it general and light is like, you guys, the public, don't fall for what you see. Don't be team anybody. You just say, I like the way that they are on the show, because you have to remember, you don't know any of these people real life. Like you just don't. And blogging is vicious, and it has nothing to do with the audience. So a lot of times bloggers will go at it with each other, right? And take it out and so I'm doing, so let's say, I'll give you an example. Let's say I'm doing a show and I don't like, I don't know, Princess. I'm just gonna make up a name. And so I go in on Princess. It has nothing to do with what Princess did on the show. It's usually something private behind the scenes. But blogging has become so powerful because we don't have the traditional critics that the networks know that we've got to get some bloggers on our side, some of them to know that we can go to when we want to put out certain messages. It's a mess. It's a mess. Well, she talked about that. So let me play some of these tapes and then I will break it down. I love B. Scott.
The reason why Bravo came to me and gave me these trailers is because they were sick and tired of me telling everything that was going on in the season.
But shouldn't they want that?
No, they didn't want me to tell everything.
Well, because you were telling things beforehand.
Absolutely,
Okay, got you.
And completely. But because I want them to know the peace treaty is off. Because they tried to do some funny business about this trailer and still trying to tell me what time it is. No one tells B. Scott what time it is.
What's the funny business?
The funny business is basically like, they upset that, well, initially, because we broke 2 Married to Medicine exclusives, they told me they were going to take the trailer somewhere else.
Got you.
And I said, if you did that, I'm going to go to war. And when I say go to war, it means that I will recap every episode of the show before the show comes out.
Talk that talk, B. Scott.
Oh, yeah. My sources are extensive. It's not just Housewives. I have executives, production, where we want to go with it.
Sound like Bravo just need to give B. Scott a show. Just give B. Scott a recap
Thank
show
you.
or something.
Yeah. And to be honest, why are we letting the chopper fly? Andy Cohen does not need to be hosting the reunions for black shows.
Talk that talk.
He does not have the cultural relevance. And it's not me being disrespectful to Andy Cohen, but you can't use your white privilege to sit there and talk down to people who need that job, especially black women.
Okay.
Because he doesn't have the finesse. You can't finesse our culture. Either you're a part of it or you're not.
And Andy can choose not to make that decision because he's an executive producer, all of that.
He's EP.
Absolutely.
So B. Scott should be hosting the reunion show.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because no one has an extensive history with the Housewives as I do.
It doesn't have to,
clearly a love for the franchise.
I do.
But it doesn't have to be a reunion show. It could be like a show every week, a recap show. It doesn't have to be a reunion, a recap show.
I like where this
where
is
they
going.
talk about it every week.
It can come on right after the episode.
Right after the episode. Or she interviews, B. Scott interviews the cast and all that other stuff.
You know why that's interesting? Because there's so much conversation that happens about these shows on social media. So why wouldn't you just have a show on your network that just carries that conversation to television?
And think about this. When the show first started, I had the Housewives on my YouTube channel. I was interviewing Housewives, Mariah Carey, Jennifer Lopez, and the list goes on way back when, before it was even a thing. Now people are like, ooh, I got celebrities on YouTube. Or I've been done that. Anyway.
Oh my God. Oh my God. When I heard B. Scott talking, I almost came to tears, people, okay? B. Scott is gorgeous. She really is. She really is. Because let me tell you, blogging is so important to the entertainment industry, especially if you do things like, if you're in music and you do things like, what's it called? I can't think of it right now, but blogging is very, very important. Okay. So they got to find a blogger. So they tried. So they tried on their own to control the narrative. They wanted all of these housewives to go out and get their own channels. And of course, when you are on their channel, they're never going to tell you the shady shit that they did. They're never going to tell you that. These people are watching these cast members' channel and cheering them on. They could be the dirtiest player in the game. But the public doesn't know that. And they believe what they see. There was very few people. And I think it was Emmanuel who came out and said, I think Kandi's show was a setup. I'll tell you what I found out about that. Because I said, a setup? And I'm in the business. Why would it be a setup? Now I found out it was a setup. Can we please filter out the transphobic people? Oh, okay. So okay, you guys. Okay. Everyone, don't talk about anyone's gender, please. Because I don't know if people want to talk about it, or you guys, please, let's just listen to what I'm saying and don't change the topic. We're talking about what is really going on behind the scenes and how B. Scott deserves. Okay. Oh my God. You guys, please act right in the chat. Come on, we're not attacking anybody. We're talking about a specific subject. Perry, start kicking people out if they just get ridiculous and disrespectful. I don't want to disrespect anybody. You guys, please, let's keep it respectful. Jeez, you guys, this is a good topic here we're talking about, and somebody's trying to change the narrative. We're talking about what goes on behind the scenes. We're talking about how the networks are forced to find bloggers that they need to work with them. But here's the thing. They want to run your channel after a while. They want you to say this. They want you to say that. That's why I'm respecting B. Scott. She said, I don't give a damn what you want. It's about what I want. Because what they want to do is brainwash the public. They don't want you guys to know how dirty things is. They don't want you to know. Thank you for joining, Lydia, becoming a member. They don't want you to know how ruthless Andy Cohen is. He is. Now, if I worked for him, I'd be fired for saying that. They don't want you to know that the things that NeNe Leakes said about him are not wrong. They don't want you to know that. And here it is. Let's just go back to every one of Andy Cohen's favorite housewives, whether she's African American or she's Caucasian. You have to work to the beat of his drum. He runs that. It's crazy. This is the People's Channel. No transphobia here. Yeah, you guys. No one's identity is up for discussion. However, it's to put the Andy genie in the bottle. It takes to listen, I'm not homophobic. I don't disrespect the LGBTQ community. You guys know I don't have that in me. And anybody that plays that in the chat, Perry, kick them out. It's just so disrespectful. I mean, will it ever end? Like, my goodness. People have alternative lifestyles since the beginning of time. Since before anybody in this chat made it to the planet Earth. And it is the way it is. And we all deserve respect. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But you're going to get people that are homophobic, that are racist. They always want to divide people instead of realizing we're all one. It's just so disgusting and ridiculous. Nobody's better than anybody. We're all one. And a person that doesn't see that by now, you're ignorant. I done forgot what I was talking about. I'm so mad. I'm heated. I have a lot of gay people in my family. It's just ridiculous. You guys stop. Get out this chat right now. If you can't accept people for who they are. Get out this chat right now if you have race issues. It's so ridiculous. That was the beauty of me being raised in California. I accept everybody. I judge you on how you treat me. Point blank, period. Now I have ruined my show because I'm so mad. I can't remember what I was talking. I'm pissed. Like, stop. I don't care what politics you are, Republicans, Democrat, Libertarians. I don't give a damn. Have we all realized that all politicians are corrupt? Like, all of them. Okay? It's crazy. I don't care if you're a Republican. Just because you're a Republican doesn't mean you're not going to say something that doesn't make sense to me. It's ridiculous. And just because I'm a Democrat doesn't mean I'm a robot and agree with everything Democrats do. Like, people are crazy. Take a breath, Sherelle. I'm trying to, but it really bothers me. And I don't even know why I messed up my show talking about that. Let's go back to the things that B. Scott says and how I feel that she's absolutely right. Now I have to remember what she said. So, wait, hold on. You're going to say about how Kandi's show was a setup. Along those lines. Thank you, sir, guys. It's really, really true. And thank you for the super chat. Let's just Kandi show. I'm going to get back to Kandi show in a minute. So the blogs are very powerful to the networks, and they need to recognize that. Get the hell out now. Thank you, Beatrice. It's crazy. I can't stand homophobic, racist people. It's crazy. And so the blogs so they try to push out the blogs by having all of these cast members have their own channel. And if you guys could think back to who was one of the first cast members to have their own channel, that's the person that suggested it to Andy Cohen. Okay, because they thought they could control the medium. And some of these cast members don't want you to say anything bad about them. Like, you can't say, I didn't like her lipstick. What? They go into action. And so Andy Cohen works with some of his favorite cast members. They get special treatment. They do. It is what it is. Okay. If he likes you, he's going to give you a show, even though you don't deserve one, or that the show is no good. He's going to keep it on the air. It pays to be Andy Cohen. But Andy Cohen, and this is B. Scott's argument, is a Jewish man that's petty, very petty, and holds grudges. You guys know that. He didn't make Marlo a full-time housewife for a whole decade because she allegedly used the F word. He's very, very petty. He doesn't, if he doesn't like you, he will make sure you never work in this town again. That's according to NeNe Leakes, and I believe her. I really believe her. So you got this man who is ruthless to begin with, okay? But he wants his African-American shows to go a certain way that doesn't even fly in the African community. Does that make sense? Like, this man can't talk about colorism. He has no idea what that means. He wants a certain cast member to do this or come off this way. Well, it just doesn't fly. And maybe that's the reason we're not liking the shows the way that we used to, is because once he realizes he has a hit show in his hands, he wants to control that show. And then he goes on his show and says, I'm not the only producers. It's a group effort. No, it's not. It's not a group effort, Andy. Okay. And I can speak my piece because I don't work for you. I really, really don't. Like, he just doesn't need to be involved with storylines. He doesn't because he have you ever watched a show and you go, who thought this was a good idea? Andy Cohen. Andy Cohen thinks it's a great idea. Like, you had to know someone is not fond or a racist, okay, I was going to say not fond of the African-American culture, racist, you had to know that before. But if you're not African-American, you're not sensitive to that stuff. Does it make sense? Andy Cohen is literally running his own shows into the ground because he wants to micromanage everything. And no matter what, you're not even a woman. You're not even a woman. Okay, so I agree with B. Scott. I feel that an African American woman that is in tune to the people, aka a blogger, should be involved somehow, because they will stop you from making these dumb, stupid ass mistakes. Because we have said over and over again, the Black community, we are tired of you hiring racist people. We are tired of you hiring cutthroat people. Like, you had so many signs before the public just cried out for help for the Lisa Rinna storyline. It had been going on for years, and we kept saying, we like dirt, but we don't like evilness. There's a difference. And in his head, he thinks evil is dirt. No, that's not. Nah. You're not in tune to your African American subscribers or people or audience. Pardon me. Period. You're just not. And so, and I think that it should be a blogger. No, specifically, it should be B. Scott. It really should. She would come in there and she would know how to handle the women. She would know the right questions to ask. She wouldn't have to say this, because this is what he said when they brought up the colorism. I don't know anything about this, so let me step out the conversation. And you guys who don't get along, who hate each other anyway, who's all bucking for good storylines to handle each other, even though you guys hate each other, you guys have the conversation. He did. That's what he did. Like, I just think B. Scott should do it. I agree. I see you guys in the chat do not agree. Y'all are still talking about this transgender stuff. Harry, please start kicking people out. He said that. Also, he went on to give some exclusive information on what's going to be happening on the upcoming season of The Real Housewives of Atlanta.
bscott.com, the new trailer for Housewives of Atlanta. And this year it is explosive, okay? Mm-hmm. Anytime you hear Kandi go, you know she's upset.
I told you black people love making sound.
So Kandi does.
And I love Kandi. I love you, Kandi. Don't do it. So basically what happened was Marlo brought up the shooting that happened at Kandi's restaurant. Mm-hmm. Kandi got upset, went into the and then said, brought up Marlo's history, criminal history, and the fact she slashed a girl in the face who later committed suicide.
Damn.
They got real low.
And then Deepak Chopra came in. Was that Deepak Chopra I heard? I heard somebody on that.
Yeah, somebody was talking about healing.
I mean, that was just like, I think they were just having a moment to kind of recenter themselves.
Right.
The other component of this is that in Portugal, they had your group trip, and there is a recording. So one housewife recorded another housewife having discussion about that housewife kissing another woman on the show. So there it is.
Me. You don't understand that, because I watched the Housewives franchise. I
don't watch the show, but I took a sip of that tea and I was like, give me another sip. It sounded good.
Now, before we go, earlier you were telling about 2 people had you blocked.
2 people that got me blocked, and you were telling me that one of them called today to try to come back on the show. NeNe.
Yeah, one of them was here in town this week and wanted to host, but
And let me just say this. I want to say this for the record. NeNe is the all-time funniest housewife.
Absolutely.
She has the comedic quality that no one else has.
Of course.
We are also, regardless of whether she said so or not, we're friends. So how it got started was she got on the show. Even though I've known NeNe the longest, we are friends. I've hung out with her so many times. She said we weren't friends on the show. So by the time the information got to me that she was fired, I said, run the hell out of it. And then when I did, she blocked me.
So you're not friends anymore?
No. Well, I still have love for her. She was not wrong about Bravo. She went about it the wrong way. That's all I got to say.
So when's the last time you spoke to NeNe?
Years now.
Damn it, man.
That don't sound like y'all friends.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like
and
your
then
friends.
The other one is Portia. She blocked me because I put out the exclusive about how she got her peach cobbled by Bolo.
Got her what?
Her peach cobbled. By
peach cobbled?
Her, she...
Oh, what's her name? Smashed.
Got it in, smashed, cobbled.
Got it,
I thought you were saying peach cobbler. Yeah.
Peach cobbler,
You don't got to hit dump for that.
See that?
You almost hit the dump. You ain't got to hit dump for that. You almost hit his finger on the dump pass.
But I got love for NeNe and Portia, and they should unblock me, and I would love to have them both back on Housewives of Atlanta.
You should speak to NeNe.
I should.
And Portia.
And Portia. Portia.
NeNe's in town.
And if I had slept with Bolo, I would just say, yeah, I did it. Portia should have owned it. She's so honest with things.
Who's Bolo?
Bolo's the stripper. The hung stripper.
Oh, the stripper from like
I
three
think his
seasons.
name is Bolo. Ain't his name Bolo?
I think they done switched out the tea. I was drinking one kind of tea. I think y'all just switched it up.
So Bolo was a couple of years ago. Remember there was the rumor that the stripper came, everybody was drunk, and the stripper smashed somebody?
Yep.
She is allegedly saying that Portia...
And I was the one behind that. So that's why she blocked me.
Oh.
I like her sheets too. She got sheets. I like her sheets. Give me some.
Oh, them sheets are good. I got them on my bed right now. Them sheets is really good. Them 1,800 thread count sheets Portia got.
Ain't
and
nothing
after you wash
love.
them, yeah, there you go.
You got extra one for you.
There you
See,
go.
Portia,
Pampered by
unblock
Portia.
me.
That's right.
See, pampered by Portia. I'm
There you
gonna put
go.
them on my bed.
That's right.
Okay.
All right, let me read this. Catherine says, Andy Cohen is telling the people that call into the show to ask the questions. Andrew is controlling the questions. I thought we all knew that. Yeah, Andy Cohen does control the questions. Someone came on the show before and told me that they called into the show and what the process was and what question they wanted them to ask. If you want to ask a question on your own, he will not have you on his show. Absolutely 100% correct. And I think most people know that by now. I thought most people knew that by now, but some people don't. Andy Cohen controls everything. He's a micromanager. And then when he tries to act like he has no idea this question was going to be asked, you have every idea. You control those questions. So anyway, let's talk about this upcoming season with Kandi and Marlo. So I think it sounds like to me, Marlo talks about someone getting unalived, or the pow pow that went down at Kandi's restaurant. Kandi gets mad because she doesn't want you to say anything about her, and she goes really low and she talks about the stabbing. Now, I thought most people knew, I can't say that word, about the poking. Marlo, it happened years ago. I believe Marlo could have been late teens, early 20s when this happened. She got into an argument at a club with her friend. She knew this person. And they got to arguing over a man. That's because that's all people ever argue about at that age. like people go crazy. And Marlo slit from ear to the lip. It's horrible. It's a horrible thing to do. Now, I'm not taking up for Marlo because something's wrong with you when you do something like that, okay? I'm just going to say what Marlo was going through. You're out of your mind when you do that to somebody. The face, just period. Like nothing is that heated. No guy is worth any kind of poking. Face, arm, nothing, like you're going too far. But I did one of my highest rated videos was Marlo, because I did a biography on her. Marlo had, whose real name isn't Marlo. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that. Anyway, she had one of the worst childhoods of anybody on the show. Maybe, yeah. She left home, I believe, I can't remember. She got in a fight with her mom, who used to put her hands on her. The mom had substance abuse problems. And anyway, she left at a very early age. They got in a fight. She ran out. She didn't have anywhere to go. Marlo is from the streets. Doesn't excuse what you did. The hardest thing in the world is trying to teach yourself how to be an adult when you don't have anybody to help you. Okay, I know you guys are going to say it doesn't matter, Sherelle. I'm not saying what she did. I'm just giving you what was going on at that time. Also, she went to jail for it. It was a long time ago. Marlo probably is one of the housewives that has the most mugshots. Her life was just chaotic. Thievery. She just couldn't be trusted. You know, she's one of those. But she really has turned her life around, because that's anybody. Who you are, I'm in my 50s. I probably wouldn't even recognize Trina back when I was a teenager. You grow with time. So this was so long ago, and she always carried a certain amount of guilt with her for that. And everybody knew. Everybody knows about it. Andy Cohen was very hesitant the first season to even bring her on. Remember, he brought her on to have it out with NeNe. That was what the true intentions were. They were going to expose the fact that NeNe was having an affair on Greg with Charles. I can't remember his last name. He's some football player. But anyway, it was all in the past. So this is going to be very interesting because you're mad because somebody said there was a pow pow at your restaurant, and then you go back in the time and bring up a subject that's very, very, very embarrassing to this person at this point. Person you're not anymore. It's really crazy. So, and it's true. So these girls are really getting at each other on a personal level. It's gonna be crazy. Y'all are a mess. Also, they're gonna talk about this housewife that was recorded. I really think it's Portia. We all know that Andy Cohen wants Portia back on the show. He will pay her any amount to get her back on the show. And so they're going to be talking about her. It makes me think she's going to show up. Let's talk about NeNe's personality and this feud that she's got going with Andy Cohen. And how do I explain this? I'm not being mean. Listen, how do I explain this? When I say the things that NeNe said about him is true. Andy Cohen is racist. But it's, how do I say it? He's a trip with everybody. Does that make sense? I can't explain it. He's a subconscious racist. And what I mean by that, he's not going to come out and call you the N-word. He's just not going to do that. But he's going to do things on the show that is outrageous to an African American person. Does it make sense? Anyway, when NeNe was the top housewife for a long time. She was in good with him. And a lot of housewives came on the show with the intention of taking her down. It is what it is. It's called business, which made her very defensive and very untrustworthy of a lot of people. But Andy was riding with her. And this is another thing, whether you're black or white, Andy Cohen will be nice to you if he needs you. When he doesn't need you anymore, it doesn't matter what color you are, he doesn't need you anymore. And for some reason, he has a habit of when he's about to fire a housewife, he wants to villainize her in the public. I don't know why he does this. You could just simply say this person doesn't work for us anymore, or just go on about your business. But he has to villainize all housewives when he fires you. I don't know, maybe to make so the public doesn't get mad, or they think, yeah, I'm glad she's gone. She really was a villain. He does it to all of them. And he might not ever get back right with NeNe leaks. So NeNe made a lot of bad decisions towards some of the housewives who were really trying to make her look a certain way on the show. Did you hear about B. Scott said there was a housewife this season that kissed a woman? Mm-hmm. I did. I heard about that. Like stuff like that. It's not a storyline to me. Like, so what? Like, if I seen two heterosexual people kissing, is that a storyline? Maybe to some people, I don't know. Maybe those people that we just had to kick out, that's a storyline. Like, that's not a storyline to me. I don't care. Outing people is not a storyline to me. I don't care. Let me start. Hold on. I'm going to drop the link. Perry, you can come up if you want. Oh, no, you can't. Well, this chat is going so fast. You guys, whoa. Got to do it again. Hold on. All right, you guys got something to say. My goodness. It went really fast. Okay, now I had to pin it twice. Whoa, look at this. Hi, Pia.
Hey.
Hey, Bonji.
Hey, Sherelle.
What up? What up, Dawn? Can you hear me, Dawn?
What up? What up?
Okay. Hey, Emmanuel. Oh my gosh.
Hey.
Hey, AJ. Let me see how many
Hi,
people I got.
Sherelle.
We've got a lot. Hey, opinion.
Hey,
Hey,
Sherelle, how you doing?
what y'all want to talk about? Oh my goodness. Sound off first, Pia. Y'all came through.
There is a lot to unpack here. There
Okay.
really is, because first of all, I will say this, the way NeNe left, and she basically blackballed herself.
Mm.
She did. She blackballed herself. I love NeNe to death, but she could have
She
went
did.
about it the
Different.
proper way. However, I will give her grace because she was dealing with the death of Greg. So she probably really wasn't even thinking straight. And I know that all too well because
Okay, but listen, every housewife has experience, says behind closed doors that Andy Cohen's racist.
well, no, and I do believe I don't like you said it's unconscious
It's
racism.
unconscious.
It's they're microaggressions. They're tiny microaggressions that you don't really pick up. Case in point, I hate to keep bringing this up. Let's go back to when Monique was on the Real Housewives of Potomac and the reunion. Look at the stuff that he did to her at the reunion. He didn't have them staying at because she blogged it. He didn't want them staying at any of the nice hotels. He was talking about the money, and she hit him back, was like, this little bit of check don't make a dent in my account.
She did. She did it.
So I mean, yeah, he has a lot of microaggressions. And I will say, when it comes to the white franchises of the housewives, they are treated differently. They are, because I'm gonna keep it real. He wouldn't have fired Lisa Rinna unless all that he wouldn't have.
Never.
If Lisa hadn't have gone that far with those racist tweets,
Tweets. Yep. Yep. Mhm.
okay, he wouldn't have fired her. He would have kept her. And I said this in the chat, and I don't care if people don't believe me or not. I believe that he was the one who started that rumor with Kandi and Portia and told Phaedra, and Phaedra unfortunately was the sacrificial lamb, and she repeated it, because it's funny how it wasn't Carlos King. Don't nobody know who it is, and I think that's why him and Kandi are in cahoots.
Thank.
Mhm.
Can you say that again? Can you say it again?
They're in cahoots. I'm sorry, because my thing is, how do you not know who told a damning rumor about you like that? It had to come from somewhere. And if it wasn't Carlos King, and if it wasn't Don Juan or Todd or anyone else in your camp, it had to have been Andy who said something.
Now, let me stop you really quick before I forget, because I'm forgetful. I believe it was you, Emmanuel, that said that you think that oh God, Latasha
Latasha?
was set up. So let me tell
Yes,
you
I
what
do.
I'm hearing. The rumors are that Kandi went to Andy Cohen, wanted the show to out Rocky. They were tired of Rocky. That's the rumors, and stuff like that. Now,
What'd I tell you?
what she did is smart business. So when I tell you guys, Candy's a dirty fighter behind the scenes, and
Yep.
that's what NeNe was saying. And according to NeNe, when she came on that show, she wanted to be the highest paid, and that was her goal. And she cozied up to Andy Cohen. It all makes sense. But
Of
she's
course.
not going to come on here and tell you, guess what? I'm going back, reporting things to Andy Cohen about NeNe. I'm twisting it around. I'm really making her look like a two-faced itch. She's not going to tell people that on her show. But only few people, one person, just Emmanuel, had, and maybe Sebastian, I can't remember what order it was. Very few people even realized, this is a setup here, this show. It
I knew
didn't
that.
matter what the ratings were. She had a goal.
Sherelle,
Yeah.
here's the thing. Two things can be true at the same time.
Exactly.
Kandi can be doing shady things in the background, and NeNe was worth being paid the most money because she brought a lot to the show. And to be honest with you, in my opinion, since she left, that show has been boring as hell. And then Andy does have unconscious bias. and
Yeah.
also is a white man who's lived with white privilege and grown up in circles where people like him, including some of the housewives, have privilege based on their racial background and based on the systems and education that they were brought up in. So um, Andy filters the way he views,
It's,
talks, and even sometimes interacts with callers on his
and let
show.
me say this too, Banji, but that's all of us. I cannot tell you what it's like to be a privileged white man. I don't know.
That's my point exactly. That
Mhm.
unless we see something, racism, um, when someone in the South was hosing people down, that was clear racism,
Mhm.
where we can see it with our eyes, or if we have one-on-one contact with somebody and we see how they treat us, and we know it's not about class, it's not about their privilege, or it's not about it, and it's all just because of race. um that's easy to label. I am not comfortable saying he's racist unless
Right.
I've seen tangible evidence. For example, if NeNe's lawsuit had been revealed and we saw where she had chapter and verse of what she had been through, then I would be comfortable doing that.
Mhm.
And Kenji can use whatever influence she has, because many people in the workplace do that to other people
It's
when they're
true.
dealing with their bosses to better themselves. That's just the nature of working in a work environment
So let me
anywhere in the
repeat
world.
what I said in one of my other videos that people got so mad at me before. If you do mean things to me, right? Because this is the way business work, okay? And I learned how to play the game and I get better at it at you. Am I a piece of itch because I'm better at it now at this point?
You can be both. You can be a piece of itch, and also be somebody who's assertive and cutthroat in terms of your job.
It's true. It's so many layers. You're absolutely right. There's so many layers here. Keep going. Sorry.
And then the next thing about B Scott,
Mhm.
girl, have several seats. The genie is out of the bottle. These discussions about Andy and him not being familiar or being adjacent to black culture should have been had at the beginning of the Real Housewives franchises. Okay, great, you've started these franchises, but when it comes to the black shows, let's have somebody who is part of the culture, who understands the nuances, who understands, for example, colorism and all these things. But now it's water, out of the bottle, and you can't put it back and cork it and pretend it's something that hasn't been happening for a long time. It's a matter of, unfortunately, the executives at Bravo and NBC are reflect Andy more than they reflect me and you. So because he has been as successful as he has been in the Real Housewives franchises with a few slip ups, I don't see him not hosting the reunions. Later on, please don't bring us Nicki Minaj, because I won't be able to handle that.
All right. Sound off, Emmanuel. I love Bonji. I love you, Bonji. Go ahead, Emmanuel.
A few things. I always also said that Andy shouldn't host the reunions. After, you remember how he did Garcelle with the book and stuff? That's kind of like what did it to me.
I
But
can't
I also
remember.
don't. Yeah, like they were all joking about the book being thrown in the garbage, and they were just laughing about it.
Got
And
you.
yeah,
Yeah.
but it sure should not be B. Scott who is hosting the reunions either. It needs to be someone who is
What?
also, besides not having knowledge and experience or whatever, they also need to be impartial. And B. Scott is
Mm.
not going to be impartial because B. Scott is buddy buddy with Kenya, and B. Scott is probably do the most, try to get some. So there definitely needs to
If
be
you're
someone else.
impartial, You got to be partial. You got to be partial. If you're impartial, you don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. You know, you don't want to ask the good questions. You know what I mean? Like, I need
Not
you to be
necessarily
messy.
because, well, yeah, but I think that's different than having favorites.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like you got to be impartial
yeah. I
to
see
the
what you mean.
person, not the
Yeah,
situation. Yeah.
because B
As far
Scott
as
is not gonna out Kenya when she needs to, right?
exactly, exactly. As far as Candy and Marlo, I think it's so cheap and so I don't know, like to go back to Marlo's past. I mean, that's her past. We all have like everyone has a past, and for Candy to be going that low because Marlo says something that happened. I mean, this was on the news. She doesn't want anyone to talk about her things. That's why this needs to be her last season. Um,
Oh,
yeah. Well,
oh,
it should have been her last season a long time ago, but
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I am Team NeNe. I think NeNe needs to come back. I don't
I
know
know.
what's gonna happen. But I also want to tell you this, Hero. One final thing. Carlos King went on his podcast, right?
Hmm.
He said nothing is happening in Beverly Hills. He
He
says it's
means it's
gonna be the most boring
boring.
season. Yeah.
I don't
All
believe
of
Carlos King. Carlos King, if he could be Andy, he would be Andy.
Mm. He'll be Andy's
all right.
shadow, no
Sound
doubt.
off, AJ. It's so
Oh,
much to cover. So
hello.
much.
Yeah, there's so much, and I have so many conflicted feelings.
Right,
Okay,
AJ.
right. Yeah, I don't know how to feel about this. Okay, so should we go with B Scott first? Okay, B
Okay.
Scott. I love you, by the way, B Scott. I think you are a phenomenon. But the audacity to say that you want Andy Cohen's job. Like, let me just break this down because everyone has been saying and replace Andy, replace Andy. I agree. Like I've always called him Lucifer, on this
Yeah, yeah, you
panel
have.
a lot, and I've been very anti Andy.
Mhm.
But he's the one who created the show. He's a cultural phenomenon. He really gave us something that everyone is copying right now. And all these people that he's pretty much gave a job to and given a chance to are all coming after him now.
That's
Now,
true. I didn't realize that. That's true.
yeah, I mean, he did pretty much be Scott. I'm sorry, you are beautiful and you are like you're huge in the LGBT community, but let's face it, Andy Cohen made you international, like all over the globe because of the red carpets and stuff like that, for Bravo and
Mhm.
specials, and she would do them with Kenya, and then oh, and then I want to say about Candy, I've
All
been
right now, AJ.
I have the I was gonna say I'm the only one who's been consistent about Candy. Okay. Everyone say to me, you're reading Candy, you really listen Candy. But you said it yourself, Sherelle, she ain't gonna portray to us how of a terrible person she is. She's
Ooh.
gonna do it all behind, closed scenes and closed
Me,
doors.
me and you both,
And
AJ.
Well,
thank you, Don.
let's say this.
Thank you.
Candy's not
So
uh evil. She's shrewd. Because
she's shrewd.
can you get mad at me for playing the game
No,
better at you than
no, but
you?
she's shrewd, hashtag greedy. Because
Oh.
basically there are several layers to Candy. She's not
Mhm.
just like shrewd. She's shrewd, she's vindictive, she's cunning, she's sly, she is, she's shrewd,
Mhm.
like you said.
True.
But she's very I saw Candy from the first scene, like on The Real Housewives, the way she coasted up to NeNe. The
Yeah.
NeNe wouldn't want to know. Then she went over to Kim, trying to produce a song, knowing that Kim could not hold a tune. She didn't even do one song. She did two.
Yeah.
Remember, like Google Me and
Yeah.
Don't Be Tardy.
I like that song, by the way,
Although
but
there
go
were,
me
me
ahead.
too. I like that song too. That was a
I
hit.
like
That
it.
was a hit. And
Okay.
basically, she was crying. Remember, she was crying on the reunion because Kim Solsiak got paid $100,000, and she
And that's
allegedly
what her
didn't
ass
get
get.
paid. And I felt a little bit bad for her. And then I had to like really go back. Candy's, and then Kim did say she's paid her
Yeah.
in that reunion. I remember it very clearly, and nobody believed in Kim because everybody, Kim is a liar. She lied about all these things. So we tend to believe Candy more. So
Mhm.
Candy, and she cries as well. This is another thing. When somebody cries like of a drop of a hat, like you got to be suspicious of these people. Candy cries about everything. She cries about
Yep.
her mama. She cried about her husband. She'll cry about NeNe talking to her, saying some words to her. She's very sensitive and she knows how to manipulate. She's an emotional manipulator. That's what
Oh
I'm gonna
my
say. And
God.
I've always been consistent about I've been consistent about Candy. I have. And
I mean, Sherelle, he's not lying. I
I'm
mean,
glad.
anytime you take time out, like how you said she wrote you a letter. If you take time out to write a blogger who you don't even know a letter just for having an opinion, there is something mentally wrong with you.
Well, I go back and forth. I go back and forth because Candy's not the only shrewd person
No.
on that
Who else?
cast. So I go back and forth because I say, can I get mad at Candy because she's figured out how to play the game and she's better at it than NeNe was? Can we be mad at Candy, or we say Candy's
Did you
just?
I
say
don't
she's
think
better at
she's
it than
better.
NeNe
I
was?
don't think so.
I'm just
No,
giving
no,
an
no.
example. I'm just saying,
I
can I
The
get mad
public,
at somebody?
You cannot. First of all, can I just say, first of all, NeNe came on The Real Housewives of Atlanta being nobody, and she made that show number one in the first season. Candy came on the
yep.
second season. Since then, subsequently, NeNe has been on Broadway. She's been on television shows. She's done movies. She's been doing appearances. She's made a hell of a lot more money than Candy on the show. Candy has what's called, because she's been writing songs for other people, is how she made her money. So she was already established and she was somebody with a name who couldn't make it on her own. So she came on, latched onto the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Hashtag she'd applied for the first season too. That's the tea. I
Oh
heard that
wow.
tea that she applied
And
for
you
it.
know,
So this Candy's shrewd and greedy, and she can't make it on her own.
I'll
She
And
say
what,
can't.
this too. I'll say this. Andy Cohen is very cunning, like Candy.
Yeah,
But he made this show, and do you have to be cunning to a certain extent to be successful?
of
In all
course. Yeah,
fairness,
of
but you
course you
know
do.
what,
You have to
Sherelle?
be some sort of a
She
psychopath.
she's not that good at the game, because if she was, she would
Candy's
be
not good
number
at the
one.
game.
No, let me tell you why. She's not number one with the audience. They're never gonna love her the way they love NeNe. She's always gonna be number two.
But Candy, and I'm not a Candy supporter because I always do the opposite side to make sure that we stay in the middle. Candy has Andy Cohen in the palm of her hands.
For
Right
now.
now,
For
Point blank
now.
period.
for
For
now.
Yeah,
now.
until he gets mad at
You
her.
saw what he did to Vicky Gunnarsson, his number
Vicky
one,
Gumbelson,
the
he
OG of
turns
the
on
OC.
everybody. That's why I say Andy Cohen is
Hmm.
subconsciously racist. He just does things that he doesn't real that the African American community
He's
won't like.
he has a new favorite now,
Who?
Chanel Ayan from the Real Housewives of Dubai. That's his
She's my
favorite.
favorite too. She's
She's
so
my
good.
favorite
Oh,
All
too.
right,
She's from the same country as me.
I don't
I
like
love
her.
her.
opinion sound off. Girl, we got a lot of topics today and a lot of opinions.
listen
Yeah, I
here,
want to talk.
Sherelle. Let me tell you something. Andy is too petty to have his own show now.
I think
But
so.
he gets into the mess too much. And sometimes it can be a little too much.
He's gay.
And I do well no, that's not even it neither
You're
because
messy.
I've
Well, let
seen
us see.
people
Let us
that
see what he did.
able I've seen people that's able to hold their own even though you know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
he's team too much, okay?
But
Let me
but
tell
let
you,
me let me push back. Do you have to be a little cunning? Look at Carlos King to have a successful reality. You
Carlos
you
King
got
is team too much.
Of
to.
course it is.
I
Colin
mean, let
King
me
is
tell
on
you something.
YouTube.
Carlos King and Andy are the same in so many ways because they both say, "Oh, this season is gonna be amazing," and you watch the season and you be like, "This is not amazing. This is a
It's
mess."
dry as hell.
And,
Yeah, they're
and let
hype
me
up.
tell you something. You can't sell me. You can't sell me shit and say, "Oh, it's beautiful." No, I don't want that. Okay. And I've been saying this for a while. I kept seeing stuff that was happening, and I was like, "Why are they airing this?" Because if y'all remember in the first season, the first event they had at Deshaun's house, she was having a barbecue, and Kim said, "I don't want to come to no barbecue and eat just chicken."
I remember that.
And watermelon.
And I was thinking to myself then, I was like, well, dang, that's something I wouldn't put on my TV. But I kept letting it go. And you notice how Kim kept talking to Sweetie and she was like, go get me this. Like it was so many microaggressions that happened that first season that did not nobody addressed it. Nobody said, hey, you can't do this. Nobody put a stop to it. I said then, okay, maybe he's not the right person. And let's be for real. If it wasn't for NeNe, he wouldn't even have Watch What Happens Live. She was the one that told him about that.
And the reunions.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like all his claim to fame, he has to give it to NeNe because he didn't come up with that. But the fact that she couldn't speak her mind, the fact that he tried to silence her, yes, I could see where she came from when she, dropped that lawsuit. And I felt like it was a slap in the face for them to take that lawsuit out of the court and put it back in arbitration. It was a slap in the face because literally you're saying her being done wrong by these people, she can keep getting done wrong because she signed a contract when she was a nobody that said she couldn't sue them. They're gonna always be right because they're gonna go through arbitration. And when you go through arbitration, it's gonna be their attorneys with your attorneys trying to come to a conclusion. But it's never gonna come to a conclusion because they're not gonna say we're wrong because they don't want her to be able to go out there and say, hey, we admitted we was wrong.
And also, NeNe made the payway for $1 Million check. She was the first one to get it, right?
Yeah. Fame without sense
paid a lot of ways for these girls.
Team Kandi on this one. Marlo talks about people's past, and when Kandi does it, she's the problem. Don't hate the player, hate the game. And I understand what she's saying, and we have to ask ourselves that: do we hate somebody that can outsmart us? Kandi learned how to play the game, and now she's better at it than anybody else. Can you hate her for that or disrespect her for that?
No, you don't have to hate her for that, but also too, like I said in the chat, how are you going to get mad for someone for bringing up about a shooting that happened at your restaurant when Sheree said it in your restaurant? It's in the trailer.
Yeah, she's just so petty as well, and she should be grateful that restaurant got more airtime.
Go ahead. Were you done, opinion? Because there's so many layers. We can be talking about this for a while. I want to give everybody a chance to talk first, and then we'll go back and argue. That's what
Fair enough. Fair play.
Sound off, Sin.
Okay. I am Team Kandi on this because if you notice, you can't blame Kandi. I mean, she's probably got a contract with Bravo that nobody knows about because she's that smart. And last year, Marlo said some disgusting things about Kandi, and now she's going to get a taste of it back, and she don't like it. Okay, so any negative publicity that Marlo can put out there about Kandi, then she's going to do it, but Candy's going to come back at her. Now, as far as NeNe is concerned, NeNe, she does need to come back, but NeNe made her own bed. She didn't handle the situation correctly.
Everybody agrees with that.
Yeah,
how she should have handled it.
I would have just.
We would have.
She should have.
I don't agree. I don't agree.
From her enemy, Kandi. When there's certain things you just can't say or do or act.
That he's a racist.
So that's why I go back and forth with Kandi. Kandi is very sneaky, very conniving, but that's you got to be that sometimes to play the game.
Exactly.
And if you just start yelling at people all the time or confronting or bringing topics on top of the table as your boss, it's not a really good move.
She would, Kandi would know. She used to be a 90s thought, back in the day. And she had to like dodge and dive a lot of
around the room.
Sorry, she did.
Sound off,
Don. I just think I haven't been pro Kandi since season 7. We talk about it all the time, the way she did Phaedra. Yes, Phaedra said what she said in season 8, but Kandi turned on Phaedra in season 7 when she started having her ex-husband in her house.
Thank you.
She didn't tell Todd that was a problem. This is my best friend, ex-husband. Don't believe him. He's making up all this stuff to try to make her look bad. She sucked up to him and had him had his stolen possessions in her house.
Yeah.
Like, how are you going to do that on your best friend? So, I haven't been I haven't been on Kandi's side since then.
So, in other words, I want to be very clear. You're saying Kandi did not support her friend Phaedra. She was Team Apollo. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, she was Team Apollo. Like, how are you going to hide stuff, Apollo stuff in your house, and the feds have to come and get it, and then you get mad at Phaedra because you think Phaedra told the feds that Apollo had his stuff hidden in her house?
Well, she was petty because remember, Phaedra brought her ex-employee onto the show.
But that was
about
season
the unpaid.
8. That was season 8.
Oh, that was season 8. That's right.
She started doing that stuff. Kandi started doing that stuff in season 7 to Phaedra, towards Phaedra.
But you know, Todd and Apollo were friends, so it was a deal done between Todd and Apollo.
All right, let me go to. Were you done, Don?
But about B. Scott. B. Scott has been breaking exclusives all over the Housewives network since forever. And they're upset at B. Scott because no matter what producers are there, he always gets the information. That's why they've been giving him those previews on his website for 2 or 3 hours and then release it to everybody else, because they made an agreement with him for him to stop leaking so much information. But he said, forget that. He said, I'm going to start having previews before the show even come out because I know everything.
I love B. Scott. She's my idol. She's the best vlogger there is, and they cannot run a show without her. They need to recognize that.
Hey, Sherelle.
Yeah.
B. Scott's pronouns are not he, she. It's they, them.
They.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I don't know.
It's not trans. I believe it's not trans either. Non-binary. Not trans.
I didn't know, so I didn't.
Yeah, she's not trans. She's non-binary.
Okay.
Non-binary.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we didn't know. We are not. Don is not trying to disrespect anybody either.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Yeah,
that's right. It's just the them when you pronounce. Also, I'm going to say, but yeah, who should host then the show?
Well, hold on. Let me let Sebastian say something. Go ahead, Sebastian.
I want to say this. Hi, AJ. I want to say this. NeNe she created her own bed of roaches and lied into it. Okay?
Oh.
Yeah. You cannot go on the reel and say, yeah, I could probably be on Atlanta again. I just need to have a chat with Andy Cohen and everything. And then 3 months later, initiate a lawsuit saying that Bravo's racist, running around the world saying this is racism. I'm not saying what she endured there was not racism. I'm not saying that. I do believe that Bravo is very problematic. Very problematic. But Lanithia did it to herself. And I'm going to have to say this about Kandi. Kandi, as much as I don't like her, I really don't. Everyone knows this. I don't like Kandi. And I said that she set up Latasha.
Oh.
She knows how to have the bosses.
Hold on, Ola. Ola, let me put you on mute. Hold on.
She knows how to have the bosses in the palms of her hands and tells the boss what to do. This is the thing. She's the one who can control Andy in Atlanta. Teresa, even as Teresa's not that smart, she can control Andy in Jersey. And as we're seeing now, Garcelle is the one who's going to be controlling Andy in Beverly Hills soon to be.
You think so?
Yes, because look, after all these things, if you really look at it, Andy did a trip not too long ago where he went to Paris with Garcelle and Kyle, I believe, or Garcelle and Dorit and everything. Yes. So I personally believe that if you know how to control the doll, you should control it. And but I don't think Andy should be hosting the reunions. I'm going to say why. Ever since that Garcelle situation, and ever since the Real Housewives of Dubai situation, where the woman literally said, "Yes, I've met Jeffrey Epstein multiple times," that was very concerning. I'm begging you right now. I'm telling you right now. If that was a black woman that said that, he would have been asking so many different questions. But no, it was Caroline Stanberry, and she's Caucasian, so she don't get no questions.
I agree with Sheila Mack. We could find fault in every single housewife. We could find pros in every single housewife. We could find fault with Andy Cohen. We could find things that we like about Andy Cohen. AJ, please stop. So it's you have to literally take this by situation. Because I could come to you and say, this person did, and then they might do something different. It's because at the end of the day, we don't know these people. This is their TV persona.
Yeah, it's their TV persona, and they become good at acting.
Sherelle, someone put something in the chat. You remember Leah Black from The Real Housewives of Miami?
Oh, yes.
Her husband was Jeffrey Epstein's attorney, and she was let back on the show. Mind you that. Just letting you know.
Well, Vicky Gunvalson sued Bravo and Kelly Dies, and she back.
Wait a minute. Vicky Gunvalson sued Bravo?
Yeah, you don't remember she sued Bravo and Kelly Dies.
No,
and she's coming back. She withdrew her lawsuit, but she's coming back.
Oh, Kelly Dies been fired though. Oh no, it's Tamra. Tamra is coming back.
Vicky's coming back as a friend of, because there's been confessionals.
Oh, is she?
Yeah, there's been confessionals and pictures of her while they're filming.
Oh, that's good then. But Kelly's not coming back. No way. She's a racist.
I'm going to say this. There was an alleged blogger that was getting sued that they let. Well, never mind.
Go ahead,
Tell us.
Tell us.
There was an alleged. I don't want anybody to say anybody's name.
Okay.
There's an alleged blogger that used to make up lies on the Housewives.
Mm-hmm.
And allegedly, Kelly Dodd was going to sue them. And Bravo stepped in. So that's. Don't say anybody's name. I'm just telling you about times that people have sued Bravo or wanted to sue someone else, and Bravo steps in there really, really against lawsuits. And every business should be against lawsuits. A lawsuit could make or break a company. It really could. So
it really could.
Yeah.
Do you have too many lawsuits over in America? Everybody sues.
Everybody sues everybody. Like I'm
so glad I'm over here.
Sherelle, AJ, you know you want to come to the United States.
I do. I want to come there, but I don't want to live there. I don't want to live in America.
He wants to come to Vegas and he wants us to hang out.
Sherelle,
that's why I want to come to Vegas.
Sherelle, you need to leave the U.S. so you could talk freely about these.
Some things I can say, some things I can't, because it's just I'm not NeNe. Some things you just don't let out the bag.
Exactly.
That will end your career immediately. So I talk a lot of trash, talk a lot of shit, but I am very careful on what I say. I say the things that I think I can get away with. And if I say something that I can't get away with, I'm the first person to apologize. I'm not trying to be in court.
I know what you mean. This is what I think as well with Andy. Andy has a blurred line with these housewives as well. He has, like you said, favorites. Then people who will go on holiday with, like Teresa, and he'll invite them to the baby shower.
But let me say
this is all a mistake
about Andy Cohen. Andy Cohen right now is in love with Kandi Burruss. They do a lot of behind the scenes.
And Chanel Ayan.
And Chanel Ayan.
And Michelle, but he will turn on anybody. And if you think for a minute, that he can be trusted, and that's what I think NeNe made her mistake. She really thought at one time that Andy Cohen was her friend.
Exactly.
Like, girl, he's friends to no one.
And you know what? He's a 60-year-old man with no husband. He's just got children. He's got nobody. He's got no husband or no boyfriend. He loves the twinks and he loves the substance, if you know what I mean. Allegedly, he likes the papa too.
But Sherelle, do you know if Andy? He's in love with Kandi. But he knows Kandi has a string of attorneys, so if anything happened, they got her back. She can pay for her stuff. And
you know who's and you're right, because you know who's next on their breeches being too long, who might just be put down a peg or two? Giselle. Because remember what she did at the reunion with the phone? What she say to Andy when Andy
she ain't going nowhere.
And then now she's gone and showed her whole behind in Thailand, and last night. Okay, this is off topic, but it ties into what we're talking about. On last night's show, did you guys catch Portia and Giselle talking down to Pepsi, the guy who has gone up and down sideways taking care of them. And Giselle has the nerve to say, what is he saying? He doesn't own this house. He's getting a paycheck. Those type of things add up in the long run. She's a fool and is very classist, and has no business trying to tell somebody, well, you're getting a paycheck. You're getting a paycheck too.
Damn.
And Pepsi's a nice guy. He's a really nice guy.
He's amazing.
And she got her running around looking for a tequila bottle. Like,
I didn't started on that damn tequila.
I have to say, Thai people are the nicest people on the planet. They are so sweet, Thai people. I love Thai people.
Let me address this really quickly. Sherelle, leave Kandi alone. Stop blaming Kandi for anything. What? Wait.
Blame her for what? Oh, look at her. Stop blaming her for everything. Oh, I get it. No, we're not blaming her for everything. We're just blaming her for most of things, like what she inflicted.
Listen, Vanessa.
I am.
I feel like you want me to stop having an opinion. I have not blamed Kandi for anything. I say what I know. I say how I feel, and then I let you do the same thing. So a lot of people get mad because they have an opinion, and it's But I'm like Lisa. I did not build this channel up to give it away to anybody.
Amen.
She's not biased, guys. She'll say whatever she wants to say.
I might be biased. I might have people I don't like, and that's my right.
That's your right.
Yeah, but then I've noticed you changed your mind.
I don't want to be in a position, and I almost was in the position where I have to say whatever Bravo wants me to say. This is not happening. I don't want to be in a position that I have to say everything good about Kandi. I don't want to be in a position where I have to say everything good about NeNe. They will run over you and try to make you fit their agenda. And this channel is my agenda.
Are they paying you?
I'm going to say how I feel. But what I do is I allow you to say how you feel. I've seen other bloggers hang up on people that have an opposite opinion. I'm not going to do that. Yeah. I'm going to let you come on. I'm going to let you say what you have to say, but I'm also going to say what I have to say. Because there's a lot of layers to Bravo. I mean, it's a hot mess behind the scenes. And Bonji's right. Two things could be right at one time. And they don't want their dirt to come out. And that's my job.
And you can't be friends to anybody, Sherelle. You can't be friends with these people. You got sometimes you got to read them and you got to say how it is. And if you're friends with these people, you're going to be biased. So don't even ignore these people.
And don't be
starstruck.
I used to be friends with so many housewives. I am not anymore. I really blocked them and started reviewing the show the way that I see it. That's what makes it enjoyable. If I have a whole bunch of bloggers that's going to say what I want them to say, you feel the difference. People don't like that.
Shade room. Like, shade room.
No, don't say names. Don't say names.
AJ.
Allegedly.
Hold on. Let me let Olga speak, and then I'm coming to you, Mark. Go ahead, Olga. Sound off.
Ola.
I'm sorry. Me? I said Olga. I'm thinking of somebody's attorney.
I'm not Russian, but thank you. How are you guys doing? Happy day. Happy evening, wherever you are. I'm just trying to say there are two different kinds of bosses. There's the good one and there's the bad one. The good one is bold, orientated, selfless, and successful, while the bad one is biased, busy on someone else's success. And that's Andy, the second one.
Ooh.
Go ahead. What's the second one?
Did you get that? Should I say it again?
No. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Say it again.
The good boss is bold, orientated, selfless, and successful. A bad one is biased, busy on someone else's success.
Is busy building success off of somebody else's back, is what you mean?
Yes.
Okay. We've got both kinds.
And that's Andy.
But Andy created these people, though.
Thank you, for telling me this. She said Jaguars live. asking people for $10
Oh
to answer a
no.
question.
Sweet
That is like
Jesus.
so crackish to me. I mean, like,
Girl,
So
she needs her
practice it
fix
is.
today.
is
Go
your
send her
money
a pipe.
out?
You're not
Or you
wrong.
need to resupply? Sound off, Mark. How are you?
Good. How are you? Can you hear me?
I hear you very well. Go ahead.
Okay, good. I wanted to come up here because I totally disagree with
Mhm.
Sebastian. NeNe did not dig her own grave. NeNe had the guts and the courage to stand up to her employer and call out what was wrong in her work environment. And people should not be afraid to do that. If I'm
Miss
being
me.
treated wrongly at work, I should be able to say that.
Well,
Can
Mark,
we
while
tell
it's
them?
brave for you to speak your mind, it also could cost you your job on anybody. Don't you agree?
It can cost you your job, but when NeNe asked for us to support them, nobody would stop watching Bravo.
Well,
And
that's
so, if nobody's going to stop watching Bravo, and she's the only one who's fighting for health coverage and health benefits for them because they did not have them,
oh
and if
wow.
no one's going to stop watching Bravo, then hell, I may as well go back.
I
And
did
that's
not
what
know
she
she was
was
fighting for
saying.
health benefits also.
Yeah,
That
she was fighting for health benefits because she
wow.
had it through the new normal, her TV show, but they don't have health benefits on reality TV.
But
And
there's a
that was something that
history.
she was saying.
But
Health benefits, that's so
everyone,
terrible.
everyone, go on mute. I'm hearing somebody shaking something in the background. But you have to admit, Mark, that everyone go on mute. Okay, hold on. Something's going on.
That's
It was sin. The person that speaks up first gets the biggest backlash. Like you lose a lot when you stand up and you're brave. So while
Yeah, but we also have to give Lenithia her credit because it was
Mhm.
her idea for the Watch What Happens Live. It was her idea for the reunions, and it
Yeah,
was her
yeah,
idea for the Ultimate Girls Trip.
yeah.
She's the one who said that he should put together an all-star cast. So they used her. And people go back to that. Look at these dirty politicians. They say one
Yeah.
thing and then they're back in office saying something else. They run under Democrat and then they're a Republican. People lie all the time. And they go back and people accept them.
He
Isn't the
steals
lesson
people's
though
ideas a
that
lot, and he stole
hang on,
Kathy
AJ.
Griffin's job.
Isn't the lesson though that many people of color have created or come up with ideas, but because we didn't maybe follow through and actually figure out how to own that content, someone has come along who might have the privilege and the connections and stolen that idea.
Of
That
course.
happens a lot.
Yeah, but that's
that's
not
why you don't
right.
speak on
Lenithia's
nothing until
idea
you
too.
That
you
is
don't
low
speak
down
on
dirty and
Everyone,
very
hang
off
on, everybody.
brand.
One at a time.
you
Go ahead.
you don't speak on any
I'll speak.
ideas or anything you have until you're able to put it into place. Because
Exactly.
yes, the people will come and steal your ideas and get credit for it. Because some
Yeah.
people move faster in business, just like Candy moved fast in business. Look how long it took Sheree to come out with She by Sheree, and that comment
It's
was
true.
made. Hold on, that comment was made about her. Bitch, I'm worldwide, okay? And Candy had the damn shirts out the next day. So you don't speak about nothing good that you got going on until it's been done.
Well, Candy ain't got nothing
And
good going on anyway.
Now hold up now.
That's the
she
truth
hasn't.
now. All
It's
of
true.
them one shot shows that she got, and oh, NeNe's so embedded in my brain, and all of my ideas. I pitch my ideas. First of all, lady, NeNe wasn't even talking about you. She was talking about Lisa Vanderpump, who people call
Yeah.
the queen. How are you calling Lisa Vanderpump the queen when NeNe has infiltrated all of these new ideas that Bravo is still using to this day? Nobody
Yeah.
wants to give NeNe her credit. Ever.
Exactly.
I mean,
All
Ever.
give it to
And he steals.
I'm gonna give NeNe her credit, but Lisa Vander. Hold
Can I
on,
say
guys.
something? Oh,
Hold on, everybody. Hold on.
can I say?
I'm gonna give
So
Lisa.
I need to leave. I have my brother is here, so I need to attend to him. But all I need to say is I miss my NeNe.
I'll say this.
Hello.
I think that NeNe is. I really like NeNe. I really, really do. But that doesn't mean I can't like Lisa Vanderpump either, Mark. I mean, really?
That's true.
No,
Lisa
you can like
Yeah.
Lisa Vanderpump, but all of this, all hell Queen Vanderpump, all hell Queen Vanderpump. We need her back on Beverly Hills. We need.
We
Don't
do.
nobody
We
ever,
do.
but don't
We
nobody ever
do.
give that kind of credit to Lanithia. We need NeNe back.
Okay.
Every time that NeNe's name comes up, they say, "Well, look how she was doing the producer." If I started all this shit at Bravo, when I tell y'all not to go in my closet, guess what? Get your ass out my closet.
Yeah,
All
that
right.
is so true. That's
Period.
true. That's true.
And I
Gotta
will
I've got to
drag
brag,
say,
you out of
Mark.
my
it's
closet.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I was gonna
I
say it's
started
very.
this. All of y'all is my sons. I started this.
It's true.
It's true.
It's
It's
And I
exactly
was
true.
gonna.
We give all this credit to all these other housewives that are basic, like she said, the starless Robin Dixon. Are they stars? Her and Giselle? Hell no. Like
No.
NeNe has gone on to be inducted into Hall of Fames. No one has
Yes.
that.
Exactly.
NeNe clocked Kandi the second season when her short hair goat singing self got on that show. She seems to be a little bit
Exactly.
hood. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, she
Mm-hmm.
clocked all of that. And nobody's seen it because of NeNe's exterior and her delivery. But that's
Yeah.
why we love her, because of her exterior and her delivery. It's not fake. She does not fake anything. She wears her emotions on her face, and you're going to get the real. Period.
Yeah.
When did that
And you
become a
give a
bad
lot.
thing?
It's
Mark,
not a
he
bad
said
thing.
it.
I feel like I appreciate people that are upfront, but not every personality does. I love it. I love NeNe. NeNe made the show. She made the franchise.
Yep.
She made
Yeah.
the
And people say,
franchise.
well, Andy is this, Andy's that. Didn't nobody know Andy until we knew NeNe.
That's
Didn't nobody
true.
know that white man? I didn't
And
know
that's
him.
why it makes it
Nobody
so
knew.
sad what has happened to NeNe because she's
Nobody
not getting
knew.
her credit.
She's not,
And
but people go along with it. I'm not saying you shouldn't cover the shows because that's how you make your living, Sherelle. You should. But nobody's willing to bite that bullet and not cover the shows to support her. We will listen to Giselle be racist and colorism and say, I don't know what's going on. What's colorism? Even though she comes from a family that's influenced. I don't know what colorism is. She plays that dumb shit. And then we'll watch her on Ultimate Girls Trip tell Leah, you want to see us dancing around like drunk monkeys? We're not your entertainment. I thought you didn't know what colorism and racism was, bitch. What are you
Yeah.
talking about?
I didn't
Yeah.
hear the drunk monkeys.
Yeah.
Oh,
She
yeah,
said
he
that
said
to
it.
Leah.
So they
Yeah.
turn it off and on when they want to. They're very fake. And
Oh
y'all be
my
going up for
God.
Portia. Ooh, I don't know how y'all
Yeah.
do it. That
I know.
whore, I don't know how y'all do
That
it.
applies for Portia
I
too.
read her last week. I
Hold
read
on,
her
Absolutely.
hold
last
on.
week.
Portia is
Oh no,
a
Everybody, hold on.
whore.
Everybody, hold on. Did you say Vanda whore?
I said Portia is a whore.
Oh,
She
Portia.
went
Yeah.
she
Oh
went
my
into
God.
that
no,
woman's
we're not
house
gonna
and
just
stole that
dog
man.
out.
She went in there and stole
It's
that man.
true.
I said it. I ain't taking
It's
it back.
true.
She went in there
It's
and
Amen.
true.
shook her ass and she
It's
She
stole
can't
true.
her
steal
ass
something
and
that she can't steal something that ain't been
she
taken.
took that woman's
Let
man.
him
I don't give a
speak.
damn if I don't care if Fallon cheated or not. That household was not broken up until the divorce happened. Portia went up in
Yeah.
there and stole that man. She stole him.
You are
She
so
stole him.
wrong.
No,
And
she
she
stole
twerked
him.
in that pool. She
She
twerked
twerked
in
in
that
that
pool,
pool.
Mark.
Oh my goodness! And then
And
she
you're right.
recounts
And
the
how do
story.
we not
She
know?
Okay, you
How
guys,
do we not
one
know
at a
that was
time.
their
Everybody,
life?
one at a time. Don't start talking. Let him finish. He's
Yeah,
a
let
she
him
mess.
finish.
I
recanted on
love
her
Mark. Go
story.
ahead, Mark.
She got on that show. Oh well, you know, we met and this and that, and I reached into his DMs, and now all of a sudden, well, first it was he contacted me through the DMs. Now it's when she's on Ultimate Girls Trip. I reached into his DMs to make sure he was
Yeah.
okay. But if
Mm.
Fallon's your friend, how are you reaching out to her husband instead of your friend?
You
Mm-hmm.
are wrong for that.
Yeah.
She is
Well,
a
she said
whore.
on the show they weren't friends.
I don't know if she'd have learned it from Diane. I don't know where she got it from, but she a whore.
She,
Oh,
Diana,
she
Diane,
like he
Diana.
said, you've been
Diane,
around
Miss
the block. I
Diane.
don't know how many times, but you've been around it. Shit.
Miss Diane knows.
Wait,
And you know,
first of all, I
he's right.
totally hold on. I disagree, but Mark, you gotta come back, okay?
And
no, he's right. He's
Candace is
right.
right. Candace, that was cyberbullying because we
Yes.
just had a conversation about how Candace has always got pummeled on social media.
Mm-hmm.
And she also said that I was not allowed the opportunity to speak for myself. And Giselle said, well, I spoke for you, bitch. I don't want you to speak for me. I can speak for myself. I didn't get that opportunity. And what Portia did when she did her photo and tagged everybody except them, she sent them Portia stands, the whores, the one that don't mind her stealing a man. She sent all of them to Candace. And they started going, oh, I bet you it's Candace. Remember when The last season of Potomac went out. There was a glass thrown. We didn't know who it was, and people were saying, "I bet it was Candace. I bet it was Candace." Didn't even know the story. I bet it was Candace. She gets pummeled, and that is a form of social. That is a form of bullying, cyberbullying. She just talked about it. She just cried about it. Leah just cried about it, and it's interesting that the two women who cried about it are the two people Portia does not tag.
Yep.
Yeah. Exactly, and she's
Cheryl,
just
can
a
I
bully.
say this
She's
to back
terrible.
up Mark?
Hold on, Asia, y'all got to stop talking out of turn so people can hear. What did you say, Vanjie?
Can I say this to back up Mark? And everything Mark has said is 100%. I agree with him 100%. At the beginning of Ultimate Girls Trip, remember how Giselle was disrespecting the Latinx women from Miami? She wasn't even calling those ladies by their name. Stop speaking in Spanish. We want to hear what you're saying. And then yesterday's show, Portia comes to the table and they say, well, let's not start because the other Latin lady, not Marisol, the other one is not here. And she says, oh, who is that? And the way Portia addressed Leah, if Leah had addressed Portia the way that if Leah had addressed Portia the way Portia addressed Leah and was so dismissive, the race kite would have been thrown so quick on that show but Portia was so disrespectful, so rude, and I agree 100% WHORE. Because she's the only one that we saw nearly get it on with Bolo and then find out later that she actually did give it to him. So there it is.
Portia been whoring and lying since I can remember. Portia is a hoe. Okay.
Mark, do you watch my channel?
Can I say something quickly?
Hold on.
Soraya, they said Jag just got arrested on live.
Hold on. Oh my God, hold on. All right, you guys, listen, I got to go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you. Mark, don't be a stringer. You got to call in, especially when Perry's on, okay? You got to call in. You guys, I got to go. Thank you guys for joining my chat. If I didn't get to your call backstage, I do apologize. I'm simply out of time. Please don't forget to click that like button on your way out. On three, guys, let's say bye. 1, 2, 3. Bye, guys.
Bye.